A former aid worker has vowed to appeal against his conviction in an Israeli court on charges of siphoning money from the World Vision charity to finance the Islamist group Hamas. Mohammed El-Halabi has always denied the allegation. His legal team claims he was tortured into making a false confession. The United Nations Human Rights Office has expressed serious concerns over the proceedings.
Mohammed El-Halabi's supporters have been holding on to hope for 6 years, praying he'd finally be set free.
For Mohammed, it's been 6 years. 6 years of torture and discomfort, back and forth between 170 courts.
Instead, their hopes were dashed with news of his conviction.
As far as I know, and as I told you, I'm following this court for 6 years. It has nothing to do with the evidence or the facts. It's totally political.
World Vision's head of operations in Gaza, Mr El-Halabi, was taken into custody in 2016. Then Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hailing his arrest as a victory in what he called a war against Palestinian terrorism. Police accused him of siphoning tens of millions of dollars from World Vision, transferring the funds to Hamas.
It is completely surreal. So over 10 years, the total budget was $22 million. He's supposedly stolen $50 million.
Much of the case took place behind closed doors. The evidence against Mr El-Halabi was classified. The court relied heavily on a confession he made to security agents, which he later withdrew.
World Vision acknowledges the decision of the court today with extreme disappointment.
Australia was a donor to World Vision, and in 2017 the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade carried out its own inquiry, finding no evidence government funds were diverted. Audits carried out by World Vision and the accounting firm Deloitte found rather than aid Hamas, Mohammed El-Halabi had actively worked to prevent funds from falling into the Islamist group's hands.
He's won a humanitarian award because he is of such moral integrity. To be honest, most Palestinians arrested, they just plead because there's no point even going through a trial. He was different. He said, no, I'm protecting both my integrity and World Vision's. He did the right thing.
The court's verdict was celebrated by a small group of Israelis waving flags. Mr El-Halabi is due to be sentenced next month, but his lawyers say they'll lodge an appeal. Felicity Davey, SBS World News.